the Breaker 12-gauge shotgun, a lever-action shotgun added with the Biker character pack. This weapon packs quite a wallop, and it's quickly become one of my favorite weapons to use. Now let's take a look at the stats. It has a magazine of 7, total ammo 26, rate of fire of 80, damage of 204, accuracy of 56, stability of 36, concealment of 20, and threat of 28. Now I do have a few things affecting my stats right now, we can't see that in here. The base stats, this is what they look like. I am boosting my total ammo, damage, accuracy, and stability by a little bit. So the available mods for this, it has some of the mods that all of the other shotguns have, like a barrel extension, boost, gadget, ammunition type. The unique mods for this weapon are the long barrel and the short barrel, the treated body, and the long stock. None of which I actually have on right now, because for the gameplay I just forgot to mod my gun. So right now the only thing I have on it is Triple Up Buck, which increases its damage a little bit. So let's see how this bad boy performs. In essence, this 1887 lever action shotgun is basically like the double barrel shotguns. It has the same type of damage, it feels like it has similar range and accuracy as well, and to top it off it can even get some decent concealment. So if you've used the Moscone or the Jocelyn at all, you pretty much know how this gun works, except that it's even better. It's a great looking weapon with equally as appealing animations for it. The full reload for the gun is just amazing, and it even sounds nice and powerful. Aesthetically, this weapon is very pleasing, and the performance of it is nothing to scoff at either. It deals crazy good damage, and unlike the double barrel shotguns, which are limited by having only 2 shots available before they need to reload, this shotgun has 7 rounds it can shoot off before needing to reload. Of course, the reload is longer, but when you have the skill Shotgun CQB, it really doesn't matter at all. Even a full reload is relatively fast, not to mention you get that awesome little flippy reload you get when you do a full reload. The rate of fire for the shotgun isn't as fast as the double barrels, but it isn't that slow either. It's more or less like the speed of the Rheinfeld. There aren't too many instances where you'd want to have that super fast fire rate anyway, since a shotgun of this type of this damage with the right skills will be one-shotting just about everything except the bulldozer. The only real drawback to this weapon is the limited ammo it has. It starts off with 21 rounds, 26 if you have fully loaded, and the pickup rate for this gun feels terrible. Like, even with fully loaded A's, it's not a one-for-one pickup, so unless you're scoring collaterals frequently, you'll eventually have to rely on your secondary, or an ammo bag, or something. That, or stealing your teammate's ammo like I do in this gameplay. That's really the only major drawback about this gun, and really the only thing that sets it apart from the double barrels. Well, aside from the magazine, that is. In any case, the ammo for the shotgun is the main concern you'll have when using it. Without fully loaded, it'll be painfully apparent where its weaknesses lie, but with it, it's not so bad. I might also be fucking myself over because I've been using Triple Up Buck since this weapon came out, and it might be affecting the ammo, but I was under the impression that Triple Up Buck did not affect your ammo anymore after that big old skill revamp, so I don't know. So much shit was changed in the revamp, I can't keep track of everything. In any case, I know for certain that I'm not the only person that thinks ammo is hard to come by for this gun. In maps that are extremely close quarters where you can hold off in really tight choke points, you can easily end up getting a lot more collaterals and stuff, which makes it easier to sustain your ammo. Of course, large maps it's going to be harder to get all that ammo off the ground, but even then, taking a shotgun to a large and open map, whether or not it has good range for what's considered a shotgun, is not really the best idea. Kinda like Bomb Forest or something. Though that's not to say that this gun isn't great for mid-range, even sometimes long-range, it's just not entirely ideal. It has some crazy range alone, and I haven't really tried the weapon when it has the skill Far Away, which increases the effective range by 50% I believe, as well as the accuracy while aiming down the sights. I assume it would be pretty glorious. Speaking of which, I also haven't tried this gun with Close By Aced, which would give it a better fire rate and a larger magazine. The fire rate, which I talked about earlier, wasn't all too amazing, so it would help out on that front. While you could be using all the skills, you don't really need to be using them though, which is what makes this shotgun so amazing. I've said this before about the double barrels too. These types of shotguns, since they do so much damage, they aren't really weapons that require all the extra damage skills. At most, the reload skill is really helpful for your quality of life, but while most of the shotguns need Shotgun CQB, Shotgun Impact, and Overkill Basic, at least, to be usable on Death Wish, the 1887 doesn't really need those. Sure, it's nice to have, especially that reload, but say, grabbing Overkill isn't all that necessary. It's helpful for specials because it ends up making them easy to kill with just one shot as long as you're chaining kills, but for everything else, you're already doing enough damage to kill them in like one hit anyway. Though this isn't really a problem now since getting up to the highest tier of a tree is pretty easy. To get all the damage and reload skills for the shotguns, you only need to invest about 20 points, whereas in the old skill trees, you'd have to spend 40 points just to get them all. I guess it's still worth mentioning though, since not everyone is in this situation where you can spend points as freely as I can. I was kind of hoping that this weapon would be a secondary shotgun. We only have like 3 different secondary shotguns. I don't really count the GSPS any different than the Loco. One weak, one middle tier, one strong. Would have been interesting if it were in the secondary slot, since that would have meant that I could have more options for my primaries. When I do decide to bring along the 1887, I usually just end up bringing a revolver, or something similar for a secondary, since it has good concealment for dodge builds, if I am running one of those, and it has enough accuracy to hit snipers. A lot of secondaries these days don't really have that kind of accuracy, but a lot of primaries do, which is why I was kind of hoping it would be a secondary weapon. More shotgun secondaries means more variety for, well, shotguns in the secondaries, as well as options for primaries. I guess this is more or less a testament to how stupidly good revolvers are now, when before they were totally unused. Not that I really mind too much, since revolvers are probably one of my favorite types of weaponry in the game. Hell, even in real life. Or just handguns in general, with shotguns coming as a close second. Which is partly in reason why I like the Judge so much, since it's a gun that literally combines 2 of my favorite things. Shotgun, revolver. Damn, I still love that gun. I always wanted to try a Taurus Judge or a Smith & Wesson Governor or something in real life. And now, we're getting off topic. Back to the shotgun. I know I said that I slapped on triple op buck on the gun, but I don't really think it needs that extra damage, but since there's really no downside to using it anymore, it's more or less a why not thing to have. I haven't actually tried the other shotgun ammo types with it yet, like HE, AP, or Flechette, but I imagine it would do just fine. Probably wouldn't be the best for HE, since with HE you really want something that can shoot fast so you can toss people around easy, but that's really just my opinion. It still probably works just fine. I know that this thing can also take a silencer. It sounds pretty hilarious when you have it equipped, and while I haven't tried it with a silent killer setup, I'd also imagine that this setup would be just fine as well. I mean, overall, you can't really go wrong with a shotgun. It hits like a truck, it's got some damn good range for a video game shotgun, and the only real downside is your ammo. But that's pretty easily countered with ammo bags or a decent secondary. Double barrels have always been one of the strongest weapon types in the game, in my opinion, ever since the Jocelyn came out, which buffed the Mosconi. And adding another shotgun to the roster that performs similar to those won't really change much at all, but goddamn, at least for me, it's a welcome addition.